I walked past that loose step on my porch every single day for 3 months. Every time, I told myself I'd fix it tomorrow. Then one Tuesday morning, my foot caught it and I went down hard. Cracked 2 ribs. But here's what terrifies me now. That step was just one of 6 warning signs I'd been ignoring. Signs that almost cost me my independence. I'm 71 years old, and I've been living alone for 4 years now. I finally learned to recognize these warnings, and I'm still in my home. Let me tell you what I missed and what saved me. I'm Robert Chen. I'm 71, and I live alone in Portland, Oregon. My wife Linda passed away 4 years ago. Our daughter Michelle lives in Boston with her family. We talk every Sunday, but she's 3 time zones away. That fall on my porch happened at 7:30 in the morning. I was heading out to get the newspaper. The step gave way under my right foot, and suddenly I was airborne. I landed on my side on the concrete walkway. The pain was immediate and sharp. I lay there for maybe 2 minutes. Couldn't catch my breath. Finally managed to roll onto my back. My neighbor Paul was leaving for work. He saw me and rushed over. "Robert, don't move. I'm calling 911. No, I'm fine. Just help me up." He didn't look convinced, but he helped me to my feet. Every breath felt like a knife in my ribs. At the emergency room 3 hours later, the x-rays showed 2 cracked ribs. The doctor, a woman in her 40s, asked me what happened. I tripped on my porch step. "How long has that step been loose?" I hesitated. "A while." "How long is a while, Mr. Chen?" 3 months, maybe 4. She looked at me directly. "You walked past a broken step every day for 4 months?" I didn't have a good answer for that. Before we go any further, please hit that like button and subscribe. This channel shares real stories that can help you stay safe and independent as you age. These warning signs I'm about to share could save your life. Sitting in that hospital room, waiting for the discharge paperwork, I started thinking. That step wasn't the only thing I'd been ignoring. My hands had been shaking more when I poured my morning coffee. I'd stopped going to my Thursday poker game because driving at night made me nervous. The smoke detector in my hallway had been chirping for 2 weeks, and I kept meaning to change the battery. I thought about my friend Jim. He lived alone too, just 2 blocks away. Last year he fell in his bathroom at 2 hours in the morning. Broke his hip, couldn't reach his phone. He lay there for 7 hours before his son came by to check on him. Jim's in a nursing home now. He didn't want to go, but his son insisted. Too dangerous to live alone, they said. I didn't want that to be me. When I got home that afternoon, I walked through my house slowly. Really looked at it. The bathroom night light had burned out in January. It was now April. The batteries in my hallway smoke detector. That loose step. The grab bar I'd bought 6 months ago, still in its package in the garage. How many other things was I ignoring? That night, lying in bed with my ribs throbbing despite the pain medication, I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait for the next fall, the next warning sign. I was going to figure out what I'd been missing and fix it. I pulled out a notebook and started writing. By the time I finished, I had identified 6 major warning signs I'd been ignoring. 6 things that were slowly making my home unsafe. Here's what I learned, and why it matters if you're living alone after 65. The first warning sign was the simplest. I was struggling with everyday tasks that used to be automatic. It started in February. I couldn't open a jar of pasta sauce. My hands just wouldn't grip it properly. I ran it under hot water, used a towel for traction, finally got it open. told myself my hands were cold from the weather. 2 weeks later, I was standing in my bathroom trying to read the label on my blood pressure medication. The print looked blurry. I held the bottle at arm's length, then closer. Nothing helped. I squinted and guessed at the dosage. Just need better lighting in here, I thought. Then there was the doorbell. The Amazon driver left a note on my door 3 times in 1 week, saying they'd rung the bell, but I didn't answer. I was home every time, sitting in my living room, less than 20 feet from the front door. I told myself the doorbell must be broken, but I never checked it. In March, I was trying to set my thermostat. The numbers on the digital display kept swimming in and out of focus. I had to put on my reading glasses, take them off, try different angles. It took me 5 minutes to change the temperature from 68 to 72 degrees. At 2:00 in the afternoon, in good light, my neighbor Paul knocked on my door one Saturday morning. "Hey, Robert, did you get my message yesterday? I called around 4 o'clock. I checked my phone. 3 missed calls. The ringer was on. I just hadn't heard it. "Phone must be acting up," I said. Paul looked at me for a moment. "Maybe get your hearing checked?" I laughed it off. "I hear fine. Phone's just old." But here's what scared me later. That bottle of blood pressure medication I couldn't read clearly. I'd been taking the wrong dosage for 3 weeks. Not enough to cause immediate problems, but enough that my blood pressure crept up to 155/95. My doctor caught it at my next appointment. "Robert, you're taking half the prescribed amount. What happened?" That's when it hit me. These weren't separate incidents. This was a pattern. My vision was declining. My hearing was getting worse. My hand strength was fading. And instead of dealing with it, I was making excuses. Every single excuse sounded reasonable at the time. But reasonable excuses can be dangerous when you live alone. The second and third warning signs came together. Home maintenance was piling up, and I was pulling away from people. The light bulb in my hallway burned out in December. It was now April. 4 months of walking through that dark hallway every night. I kept meaning to change it, but the ceiling was high. I'd need the stepladder from the garage. It felt like too much effort. The bathroom faucet had been dripping since January. Not a major leak, just a steady drip, drip, drip. I put a towel under it to muffle the sound. I told myself I'd call a plumber next week. The railing on my back deck had a loose post. It wobbled when I grabbed it. I stopped using the back door, just avoided the problem entirely. A handyman named Steve had left 3 voicemails offering to do odd jobs. I never called him back. What would I even say? That I couldn't manage a light bulb? Around the same time, I started declining invitations. My friend Tom called in February. "Robert, we're playing poker Thursday night at my place. You coming?" "Can't make it this week. Got some things to take care of." He called again 2 weeks later. I said I wasn't feeling great. The third time, I just let it go to voicemail. My church group met every Sunday after service for coffee. I've been going for 6 years. In March, I attended twice. I told myself I was tired. The truth was, I didn't want to explain why I looked run down, why my house was getting messy, why I seemed distracted. By the end of March, Tom stopped calling. The church group stopped asking where I'd been. One night in early April, about a week before my fall, I got up at 11:30 to use the bathroom. I walked through that dark hallway without thinking. My foot caught on something, a stack of mail I'd left on the floor. I stumbled, grabbed for the wall, barely caught myself. My heart was pounding. I stood there in the dark, breathing hard. Here's what hit me. If I'd fallen right then, who would have known? Tom wasn't calling anymore. I'd missed 2 Sundays at church. Paul next door was traveling for work. Michelle wouldn't expect my Sunday call for another 6 days. I could have been lying there in the dark for a week. The isolation wasn't just loneliness. It was dangerous. And the dangerous house made me want to isolate more. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anyone to see how I was living. These 2 warning signs fed each other. The worse my house got, the more I withdrew. The more I withdrew, the less I cared about fixing anything. Warning signs 4 and 5 hit my daily routines. My eating habits changed, and I started messing up my medications. Cooking for one person is hard. Linda used to make dinner every night. Real meals. After she passed, I tried to keep it up. But by February, I was eating the same thing constantly. Frozen dinners, canned soup, crackers and cheese. Some nights, I'd just skip dinner. Too much effort to heat something up. I'd have crackers and go to bed. I stopped eating breakfast most days. Just coffee. Lunch was usually a sandwich, if I remembered. In January, I weighed 178 pounds. By the end of March, I was down to 166, 12 pounds in 3 months. Michelle noticed during our Sunday call. "Dad, you sound tired. Are you eating okay?" "I'm fine, just not as hungry as I used to be." She didn't push it, but I heard the worry in her voice. The medication problems were worse. I take 3 pills. Blood pressure in the morning, cholesterol at night, baby aspirin with lunch. Sounds simple, but I started forgetting. I'd stand in my bedroom holding the blood pressure pill thinking, did I already take this today? Twice in March, I took my blood pressure medication twice in one day. Once, I forgot it entirely for 2 days straight. I'd find the pills still in the organizer on Wednesday and realize I'd missed Monday. The cholesterol pill was supposed to be at 8 p.m. Some nights I'd take it at 6 gao. Other nights, I'd forget until I was in bed at 11 sao. Then, I'd get up and take it. My blood pressure started climbing. I felt dizzy some afternoons. I'd grip the kitchen counter and wait for it to pass. Then came my checkup in early April, 2 days before the fall. Dr. Martinez reviewed my chart. "Robert, your blood pressure is 158/96. That's higher than it should be. Are you taking your medication consistently?" "Yes, every day." "Same time each day?" I hesitated. "Mostly." "Mostly isn't good enough with blood pressure medication. And you've lost weight. How much are you eating?" I couldn't answer that honestly. I didn't actually know. "Are you skipping meals?" "Sometimes dinner. I'm just not that hungry." She put down her pen. "Robert, you live alone, right?" "Yes." "Who's checking on you? Making sure you're eating? Taking your medications?" The answer was nobody, and we both knew it. She prescribed a new medication schedule and asked me to keep a food log. I nodded and left. I never started the food log. I told myself I'd do it tomorrow. But standing in that doctor's office, I felt something shift. These weren't just inconveniences. This was my health declining, because I couldn't manage basic daily tasks anymore. The 6th warning sign was the hardest to admit. I was afraid in my own home. It started in late February. I'd wake up at 2 hormao or 3 baos in the morning and lie there listening. Every creak in the house sounded like someone breaking in. The heater would kick on and my heart would race. I kept a flashlight next to my bed. Some nights I'd get up 3 or 4 times to check the doors, make sure they were locked. Then I'd lie awake wondering what I'd do if someone actually did break in. I'm 71. I can barely open a jar of pasta sauce. For 6 weeks, I barely slept. I was exhausted during the day, but wired at night. Then came that Tuesday morning. The fall on the porch step, the cracked ribs, the hospital. Lying in that emergency room bed, everything hit me at once. I couldn't see well enough to read my medication bottles. I couldn't hear my doorbell or phone. My house was falling apart. I was skipping meals and forgetting pills. I was isolated and scared. All 6 warning signs had been there for months. I'd just been pretending they didn't matter. When Paul drove me home from the hospital that afternoon, he helped me up my front steps. The broken one was right there, still loose. "Robert, I'm fixing this step tomorrow, and we need to talk." We sat in my kitchen. He looked around, and I saw my house through his eyes. Mail piled up, dishes in the sink, that dark hallway. "How long has it been like this?" I wanted to lie, make an excuse, but I was too tired. "A while." "You need help, man. There's no shame in that. I don't want to end up in a nursing home." Paul shook his head. "That's not what I'm talking about. My mom went through this last year. There are options. Let me make a call." 2 days later, a woman named Andrea from the local senior center came to my house. She worked with the area agency on aging. She walked through my home with a checklist. "Mr. Chen, most of what you need is simple and cheap. You don't need to move. You need to adapt." She made a list. Grab bars for the bathroom, better lighting, a medication organizer with alarms, a medical alert system, motion sensor night lights, a weekly meal delivery service that cost $85 a month. The total for everything on this list is around $380 for the one-time items, plus about $125 a month ongoing for the meal service and alert system. I looked at the list. None of it was complicated. None of it meant losing my independence. "Why didn't my doctor tell me about this?" Andrea smiled. She probably did. "But you weren't ready to hear it yet." She was right. Dr. Martinez had suggested some of this at my last checkup. I'd nodded and ignored her. But now, sitting there with my ribs aching and Andrea's list in my hand, something clicked. These warning signs weren't about failure. They were about adaptation. I didn't need to pretend I was still 45 years old. I needed to live safely at 71. "When can we start?" That was 4 months ago. Here's what I actually did and what my life looks like now. First, I dealt with the physical challenges. I got my vision checked and updated my glasses. Cost $240. I got a hearing test and basic hearing aids through a local clinic program. $180. Suddenly, I could hear my doorbell again. For the weak grip, I bought jar openers and easy grip tools from Amazon. $35 total. I also started doing hand exercises my doctor recommended. My grip strength has improved. Paul fixed my porch step the day after the hospital visit. He also installed grab bars in my bathroom and better lighting in the hallway. The supplies cost $120. He wouldn't let me pay for his time. I joined the senior center's meal program. 3 hot meals delivered every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. $85 per month. I actually eat dinner now. I've gained back 7 of the 12 pounds I lost. For medications, I got a pill organizer with alarm reminders. 28. It beeps at 8 a.m. for my blood pressure pill, noon for the aspirin, and 8 p.m. for cholesterol. I haven't missed a dose in 4 months. My blood pressure is back to 128/82. The medical alert system was $35 a month. I wear a button around my neck. If I fall, I press it. Someone responds within 60 seconds. I tested it once. It works. For the isolation, I forced myself back to Thursday poker night. Tom was glad to see me. I rejoined my church coffee group. I see the same people every Sunday now. Paul and I have a standing agreement. He checks on me Tuesday and Saturday mornings. Just knocks on the door, makes sure I'm okay. Takes 5 minutes. In return, I water his plants when he travels. We both win. The fear at night? Motion sensor night lights in every hallway. $45 for 6 lights. Now when I get up at 3 a.m., the path to the bathroom lights up automatically. No more stumbling in the dark. My total monthly cost for all of this is $120. The one-time expenses were $648. That's it. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying everyone should do exactly what I did. Your situation might be different. You might need more help or less. You might have family nearby or different health issues. But here's what I learned. First, warning signs aren't weaknesses. They're information. Second, small changes prevent big crises. Third, independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means having systems that let you stay in control. Fourth, asking for help early means you get to choose your help. Wait too long, and someone else chooses for you. I'm still in my house. I'm eating regular meals. I'm taking my medications correctly. I'm sleeping through the night. I see people every week. Is everything perfect? No. My hearing aids whistle sometimes. I still struggle with some tasks. I know my vision will keep declining. But I'm safe. I'm managing. I'm still here. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. What warning signs have you noticed in your own home? Leave a comment below. Sometimes just naming them out loud is the first step. I ignored 6 warning signs for months. Don't make my mistake. Your future self will thank you.